Last year, a bird flu infected free-range egg farm in Otago was forced to cull 200,000 chickens. Now, their first eggs are back on the shelves and in supermarkets from today. Claire Sherwood is the Newstalk ZB South Island News Director, has been covering this story for us. Claire, good to see you. So, this is good news that they are back in business.
That is great news. This is mainland poultry and their Hillgrove property. I remember, when we first had this outbreak in December last year, Ryan, how devastating it was for those at mainland poultry. Obviously, based down in Dunedin, it's a massive, deal in terms of losing 10,000 birds initially and then 20,000. And those numbers just kept climbing until it got to the point where 200,000 birds had to be culled because of contamination of bird flu. At that point, there were concerns that it may have spread to other farms. And the concern then for, nationwide was starting to get quite worrying. The good news is that all of the prevention, measures that were put in place and what MPI did at that time with mainland poultry managed to keep things contained to that farm. But it's obviously been a significant process for them to go through the decontamination of it and then obviously repopulate the farm with their, fresh hens, etc. We just did a check-in actually as a newsroom this week to ask how things are going and where things are at for the farm. And we were told actually, listen, the first eggs have been laid and they're on the shelves from now. So it's been a massive amount of work for the team down there and they're super excited about it. Obviously, they say they've learned a lot from the experience and they feel better prepared and hope that others have learned a lot as well. So fingers crossed things are back on track for mainland poultry.
Absolutely, Claire. That is great news. Tell us about the Crusaders ticket prices. What's going on here?
Well, so much excitement about the new stadium here in Christchurch. I've spoken to you about it many times, Ryan. Te Kaha, we're very excited about it. It's all on track to open in April. And one of the things that people have been wondering about was obviously next season's Crusaders schedule, first and foremost, which came out a couple of weeks ago, and we got confirmation that they would start their season at the old Apollo Project Stadium and then move to the new stadium from Super Round for the last few games. Then, of course, comes the questions in relation to what's it going to cost us? The members are first to get dibs of tickets. They go on sale to members from today. Obviously, most members did expect a bit of a jump, but given the fact that some of the season is still at the old stadium and then just a handful of games at the new, they were quite shocked at some of the increases. To give you an idea, for a family of four, the price goes up from a $450 membership to almost $1,200. So people are saying, look, it gets to the point of being unaffordable. We expected a lift, but this is just too much. We've spoken with the CEO of the Crusaders, though, Colin Mansbridge, and he really stands by the decision. He says, look, this is a jump. It was always going to need to be a jump to make way for these new facilities and how much better it's going to be, wider seats and much better facilities in terms of food and beverage offerings, etc. He compares it to having a Ford Cortina and updating it to a Ferrari, which I really love. But he does say that whilst the pain is there this year and for the 2026 season, he doesn't anticipate massive increases thereafter. So it's like there had to be pain at some point. Unfortunately, it's here, but he promises it's going to be well worth it.